The morning rush at JFK Airport buzzed like a hive, horns honking, people shouting, luggage rolling. Amid the chaos, Officer Rachel Menz stood at the edge of the arrivals curb with her loyal partner, Kilo, a Belgian Malinois trained in narcotics detection. He was usually calm, disciplined, and focused. But today was different. Kilo was barking uncontrollably at a yellow cab idling by the terminal. His ears were rigid, body taut, tail low. Something had set him off. Rachel tightened her grip on the leash, trying to calm him, but he lunged toward the trunk of the taxi, growling, barking like he'd found something dangerous. The driver, a middle-aged man with a tired face and gentle eyes, raised his hands. "I don't know what's going on, officer. I swear. I just dropped off a passenger from Midtown." Rachel motioned for backup. "Sir, please step out of the vehicle. We're going to need to check your car." People stopped to watch. Phones came out. A crowd began to gather. Another scandal, another viral moment in the making. Kilo's intensity spooked even the other officers. They opened the trunk carefully, bracing for a possible drug bust or something worse. But what they found wasn't illegal. It was unexpected. Wrapped in an old grey blanket was a young girl, no older than 6, fast asleep, clutching a battered teddy bear. Rachel gasped. "What the hell?" The driver froze, his face pale. No, this isn't what it looks like. "Please just listen to me," the girl stirred, blinking in the sudden light. Her eyes met Rachel's, scared but not unfamiliar with fear. She didn't scream. She didn't run. She just sat up quietly, still hugging her bear. Rachel looked at the driver. "Start talking." "My name is Adil," the man said, trembling. "That's late. I've been driving her around for the past 2 weeks. Her mother, Rainier, was a passenger of mine. Single mom, just moved here from Syria, barely spoke English. She couldn't find a job and had no family here." He swallowed. "Last week, she collapsed in my backseat. At the ER, they told me she had late-stage cancer. She never told anyone. Her only concern was Layla. She begged me not to let her daughter end up in the system." Rachel's brow furrowed. "Why didn't you call the authorities?" "I was going to, but I kept thinking, if this were my daughter, if my wife were dying in a new country where no one cared..." His voice cracked. "I didn't have the heart to let her go into foster care. I tried to care for her. I let her sleep in the cab when I couldn't find another place. I gave her what I had." Rachel looked at the girl again. She nodded quietly as if to confirm his story. Her eyes were older than 6. Back at the precinct, Rachel sat beside Layla while they waited for social services. She handed her a juice box and asked softly, "Do you want to tell me about your mom?" Layla nodded. She said America would be kind, that people here were good. Rachel felt her throat tighten. She remembered her own mother, an immigrant from Brazil, scrubbing floors in hotel rooms just to make ends meet. She remembered watching her fall asleep on the couch, too tired to eat dinner. It hit her then. Adil hadn't kidnapped a child. He'd carried a burden that wasn't his, because someone had asked him with their last breath. Later that week, Rachel made a rare move. She showed up at court for Adil's hearing. Her statement surprised everyone. This man didn't act out of malice. He acted out of kindness, desperate kindness, desperate kindness. He didn't see a stranger's child. He saw a child who needed to be protected. He didn't hide her. He shielded her. In a world that too often looks away, he didn't. The judge, moved by the testimony and evidence, dropped any criminal charges. Adil was instead referred to a family placement agency. Layla's temporary guardian status was granted, under supervision, to him. And Kilo, he got a special treat that day. 3 of them, actually. Months later, on a crisp autumn day, Rachel stopped by a modest house in Queens. Layla ran out the door, backpack slung over her tiny shoulders, now enrolled in school. Adil stood behind her, holding a lunchbox and smiling nervously. "You're early," he joked. Rachel knelt down to Kilo's level. He insisted. Layla giggled and hugged the dog. Kilo licked her cheek, calm this time, like he knew everything was finally okay. Rachel watched them walk down the block together, a man who chose kindness over fear, and a little girl whose life had changed because of it. As she stood there, wind tugging at her coat, Rachel felt something stir in her chest. In a world that often rushes past the suffering of others, sometimes a bark in the chaos is the beginning of a miracle. All it takes is one act of compassion to change a life forever. And sometimes the police dog isn't barking at a threat. Sometimes he's barking for a second chance.